it's the way.
We wanted men.
I have spoken.
Are you ready for Christmas, Jason?
No, I still have to go to Target and get something.
Oh, shit.
Yeah, it's not over. The big stuff is done, though. How about you?
Yeah, we're good.
Okay.
Finally.
Do you know what you're getting each other? Is it one of those situations?
Only thing I know she got me was the Mandalorian, the Lego Mandalorian spaceship, because I told her I wanted it.
The Razor Crest?
The Starship, the one Bo-Katan flies in,
Yes. Okay, I know which one.
because it went on sale on over Thanksgiving for like $47. So I said, buy me that.
Nice.
And I know it's Star Wars stuff. That's all I know. She bought me she's like, I bought you something I have to put together, or you have to put together. And then something from a prop store came from, I don't know where she bought it from.
Ooh.
Yeah. So I'm curious what that is, but it's only in a bag about, 6 inches wide. But apparently she reached out to people and they were like, you're an awesome wife. So we'll see what happens.
Hello.
Yeah.
Look at you.
Yeah. And she bought me something from Entertainment Earth. So I don't know. But yeah, I bought her something weeks ago as soon as I saw it. But do you know what you're getting?
All I know is that I'm getting the vintage collection Antok Merrick X-Wing. That's a
Nice.
Target exclusive because I bought that for myself. I nearly got 2 of them because I was like, I texted her in school. She's a teacher, and I said, I want this. It's available, because those things were in, like spotty, becoming
Right.
available for 5 seconds, and then it was gone. And so I bought it. And then later in the afternoon, she's like, oh, I got to buy that thing. So she went to go buy it. And then she realized it's not in the cart anymore.
Uh-huh.
And she checked the purchase history and it was there. But I nearly got 2. And I guess she got lucky because it was available a second time that day.
Wow.
But that's all I know.
Cool.
Cool.
Yeah, I'm trying to think what else. That's I guess it. I don't know. Now I know where I was going. It's bad when you're like, because my family gives us money, and we're like, okay, if we get any money, we need a heater for the back deck because we're tired. We're tired of not using it when it gets cold. And then she's like, I want a bigger air fryer. So, it's bad when you're like, all right, we're going to buy, if we get money, we're buying a heater for the back deck and an air fryer. Woohoo. Welcome to adulthood.
Right. It's like buying a vacuum. Yay, me. I got a vacuum.
It's like, yeah. And it's just funny. When we used to be like, all right, Star Wars stuff, I get to buy Star Wars stuff. But yeah, I got a Christmas bonus from work, so that's going to Star Wars stuff. I'm trying to make a deal with Road to the Past up in Cincinnati. They're having a big Star Wars sale, a big like 25% off sale this weekend, and they have a sealed Wampa cave I'm trying to make a deal on. I'm like, I got this much money to spend, so let's bundle some stuff so we can get the most money out of it. And it's just been one of those, we'll message for a minute, and then he's busy in the shop. And then when we end up messaging, he's not at the shop to show me pictures of stuff. And it's just been a cluster, but oh well.
That's funny.
Yeah. So I may bundle some micro collection stuff. At least one piece sealed. I got to see what the other piece looks like before I buy it.
Mm-hmm.
He says it's not sealed, but I want to see how bad the contents are, if they're used or still unused and all that crap. So yeah.
Very cool.
Yeah. Do you have any plans do you all make plans like that?
No, I mean, if I get a bonus, I will get a bonus in February, but I'm probably going to save that for Celebration, Star Wars Celebration.
Nice.
So I can make sure I get out there.
Yeah, I probably should do something like that too. I know I've got some money coming my way, and I was going to save a few thousand of it, but maybe it'll go to Celebration. I don't know. Especially if we get a fan table, it'll be hard to not go at that point.
Yeah. Yeah, so we'll see. I'll play it by ear. I mean, there's always a couple things that I could get, but I should do the responsible thing and save my money for Celebration.
Yeah.
Although I've told this story before, like anything at Celebration's overpriced.
Yeah.
And right before Star Wars Celebration Chicago, I got that Death Star Commander with the Boba Fett offer on it. The 12, 21, 12, I don't know.
That was
21.
a steal on that. I'm jealous of that one.
It was like $150. There's no way in hell I could. I mean, it's not a perfect card. There is some tear on it, but other than that tear, it's pretty flawless. And had I bought that at Celebration, that would have been more than $150.
Yeah, the thing at Celebration is they do have like Celebration exclusive stuff, but the vintage stuff is just ridiculously priced. And then room sales. Yeah, if you can see some crazy stuff at room sales.
I'd go for room sales. I'd go for the archive party because I've never been to that, and I'd go for the Hasbro exclusive, whatever that is, the Black Series something.
Right.
Which I wonder what it would be this year because, well, that's the Obi-Wan Kenobi show, so I wonder if they would have some sort of Black Series Obi-Wan Kenobi thing.
Huh. Interesting. I don't know. I know that the Hasbro booth is always pretty awesome at Celebration because that's when they introduced the Thrawn Black Series, and that you're able to see one of those, and it's just got all their crap in it. So it's cool. But I don't think you could. The only thing you can really buy. Can you buy stuff there? I don't remember.
Yes, they do have a shop, and usually if you don't hit it first thing in the morning, it's gone.
Gotcha. Well, I should
take that back. There's usually one item that sells out, and I remember Celebration Orlando. That's when they introduced the Star Wars Black Series on that 40th anniversary card back, and the R2-D2 sold out really quickly. R2-D2 was tough to find as a Black Series figure.
Right, they did that one, and then they did the Luke X-wing and like the foil.
That was the exclusive,
Gotcha.
And they had plenty of those because I got that on the third day. I got mine.
Wow. But I just remember talking to people, you meet people, and I talked to one guy and he's like, I paid $100 to get in the door and then waited all day to buy this Lego piece. I was like, why? But maybe he just really, really wanted it.
And now that's all lottery based. So you might not even get the Lego stuff.
Right.
You might not get the Funko booth because you didn't win the lottery.
I think that may be the only fair way to do it. I know it sucks if you don't get in, but I know they started doing that on panels, and I don't know. I would rather do that than wait in line all night.
Yes. Yeah, we're old, like you're saying.
I don't want to sleep on a hard floor.
I don't want to sleep on concrete.
I like showering.
I do too. I like beds. I like 8 hours.
Yeah. Although you do not sleep good in Celebration, man. It's a trip, dude. I'm going to kick myself if I don't go, but I don't know. It kills me that it's in California, and I know it's $1,000 just to get out there and have a place to stay for the week.
Yeah.
And it also sucks because I've never been to California, and I want to see California, not just the convention center.
Same.
Awesome. So how's everything else going?
Everything else is going good. You pick anything up this week?
Yeah, my wife went to Walmart yesterday and kept sending me like random crap that she wanted to buy. So she bought me a one of those stuffed Fett, the Boba Fett, dad bod Boba Fett. Actually, now it's a throne room Boba Fett.
Where did you find that? What is it? Black
Walmart?
Series?
No, it's just a big head.
Oh, okay. Stuffed. I missed that part.
Stuffed. And it's funny because the backpack has a firing rocket on it. So it's just kind of weird how the rocket firing Fett has kind of come back full circle. Now it's acceptable because they figured out how to do it.
Yes.
You're messing with your microphone. It's like...
Yeah, it changed from my headphones to my computer speaker back to my headphones, and I was afraid to speak because I didn't want to mess anything up. I think the cord is loose, but so you got the dad bod stuffed Boba Fett.
And then she bought me the throne room, the Mandalorian throne room Ahsoka versus Darth Maul. She just picked that up. I guess that was sort of my surprise. I don't know if she was going to wrap it for Christmas or not, but I picked up a box and there it was. I was like, ooh.
The vintage collection?
No, the
Oh.
Lego stuff. So she gripes about my addiction to Lego, but then she supports it. So it's really weird.
Right. Cut them off or support it. Pick one.
Right. So I've got to go through when I put up my ghost, because it took me about a week to build the ghost. Finally get that done, and I go to put it on my Lego shelf, and it's just that again, you put something, you got to rearrange everything. So I'm thinking I'm going to get, because I've got some of those Black Series the scenes where they have the Darth Vader and the Luke Skywalker on the Luke on the X-Wing, or not the X-Wing, the AT-AT, the whatever those things are called. I can't think of what dioramas, like the diorama, I guess, is the best word for them. So I think I may take those out of my collection. I don't know.
Okay.
Or move them, and then I have a whole shelf to put more Legos, which I need.
Yeah, you do. And
Did
they
you
sell shelves at IKEA.
Yeah, they do, but I don't have room for more shelves.
Well, then the other thing you can do is go to the Container Store, and they have acrylic risers. So you could just elevate some pieces, and then it's acrylic, so you can't see. There's not like a shelf there, light can pass through, and then you can put things underneath. But it just depends on the size of the riser.
Mm-hmm.
So like you could probably raise it up to put minifigs under it. But
I may do that too.
Just as a thought.
Yeah.
The nearest Container Store is what? Perimeter Mall?
I think so. That, or I can look that crap up on Amazon.
Yeah.
I bet it has it on Amazon. So I see you got a bunch of glue boxes behind you.
Yeah, I picked up that glow box. Oh.
You try to be on.
I tried to look at it through the camera on the computer, and I reached back to touch it and nearly knocked it over. Yeah, I flew down to Jacksonville this weekend or this week for work, and had to kill some time. So I ran to Marshall's because they had this logo light box.
Uh-huh.
And it's just Star Wars I know this is not a visual thing, it's an audio thing. So it's the Star Wars logo in white. It's probably about 12 inches wide and 4 or 5 inches tall.
Mm-hmm.
It just says Star Wars, and it lights up. So I just figured, you walk into my room and you don't know what I'm about. You're like scratching your head. So you're like, what? This logo, when people see it, it helps clue them in. Oh yeah, that's what he's about. He's about Star Wars. I see it now.
It's all Star Wars, man.
It was $15 at Marshall's. What the hell?
Right. Is it a battery operated or plug it in?
Right now I have it plugged in to one of those rechargeable battery things for your phone.
Uh-huh.
Because I don't have the AAA batteries, so I'll have to pick those up today. But it is both.
Nice. So that's
I
cool.
think you can like plug it into your computer and turn it on, or you can just have batteries and hang it. There's hooks on the back, so you can hang it on the wall.
That's the one thing that bugs the shit out of me with electronics nowadays. They'll send you the plug, but without a wall wart. They'll send you the USB thing, and then you got to go buy the wall wart. Or you have a ton of them sitting around with all your electronics.
Yeah, and it's not rechargeable. It's either on or off.
Gotcha.
So I made it work. Amazon has a Star Wars t-shirt club. Did you see that? $20 a month.
Really?
Yeah, it's a subscription box. They call it a box. It comes in a bag. But yeah, it's $20. So I started that. Just do a couple months to see what I get. The first one was a Book of Boba Fett t-shirt with Boba and Fennec on it, and it's kind of like a Western style poster almost, except it's like 3-color on a black shirt, and it's their masks close up.
So is it just Star Wars
subscription t-shirt box, something like that?
Huh. That sounds like a freaking awesome thing to do. Sorry, now you got me. There we go. Star Wars t-shirt club subscription.
It doesn't show you what the t-shirt is before you buy it. So I might try it for a couple months and see if it's my style. And if I like it, I'll continue. If not, then I'll cut that off.
Right. Oh, wow, dude.
I think
I
think there was a Life Day one in November. I think I just missed out on that one.
How mad would my wife get if I did this? Subscribe.
Oh, it's been done.
It has been. Hold on, I got to do. First of all, you see, I've got to change it all around because it is. It's to my mother-in-law. We share her thing.
Oh,
Her.
your mother-in-law's getting Star Wars shirts now.
Yeah, we have to watch because we use her Amazon, and there I placed order. Let's see how bad I get yelled at for this. All right, so it'll renew. I wonder when it'll show up. I don't know.
Usually,
We'll see.
like, yeah, it's like 2 days later. I got charged after I subscribed. Oh, I can talk. And then I got the shirt a couple days after that.
Okay.
So we'll see what happens.
Payment, whatever. It'll probably get. No, I didn't want it to go there. Damn it.
It's going to your mother-in-law.
It sure is. Let me fix that. My orders.
I got my vintage collection C-3PO droid.
Awesome. How'd that show up?
Bent. They bent my Wookiee. Yeah, the car, like
They
on the
bit
front.
my Wookiee.
They bent my Wookiee. They bent the front top part of the card back, like above where the hole punch is. Dan Lowe said he would trade with me because he's an opener. So I just have to drive out the Flowery Branch some point this weekend and grab it from him, probably tomorrow morning.
Yeah, that's a long drive, dude.
It's worth it to have it.
Yeah.
And so I got that. My Black Series Bodhi Rook pre-order arrived, and the likeness on this thing is incredible. It looks just like the actor. I know you can't see it on my screen there, but
Oh yeah, dude, I gotta give it to him for redoing all that stuff because it's pretty insane. Sorry, I'm too.
No, I'll keep talking. Yeah,
No, you're
so
good, dude. You're good.
It's an incredible figure. There's not a lot of dirt on him. He looks pretty clean. That's kind of weird because it's a very dirty movie, but I mean the face printing looks really good. So yeah, I was pretty pleased with that figure, and now I feel like I need to buy the rest of them. I also pre-ordered Tebow, the Emperor, and IG-11 from Hasbro Pulse, the
Mhm.
vintage collection, and I thought I canceled these guys because I already have Tebow and the Emperor, so now I have extras. My Emperor's a little bent up, so either I'm opening him or selling him to somebody who opens him. So I got that, but then I also got notifications that the vintage collection Stormtrooper 4-pack is en route. My Black Series Greedo that looks like the Power of the Force 2 card back. That one's en route. And there's one more. Oh, that Princess Leia on that green Power of the Force card back is en route.
Leah or Leia?
Leia?
Nah,
Princess Leia?
Princess Leia, when the guy says it in A New Hope.
Princess Leia. According to the data readout from Princess Leia.
Have you seen the memes of that? Because it says that, and then it's got Jenna Erso going, "What the?"
Who's that? I died for these these plans.
As there's Jenna Erso over my shoulder from Rogue One. Dude, that movie's 5 years old, dude. Shit.
Yeah, we're getting old.
Yeah. Well, it's
still my favorite Disney era movie.
Yeah, it's crazy because I'm getting all the memories on Facebook, and it's like every day I'm at a new Star Wars movie from like 2 years ago, 3 years ago.
That means The Force Awakens is 6 years old.
Yeah.
Last Jedi is what, 4?
Yep. And then Rise of Skywalker's 2, I think. Let me see.
Celebrating 4 years of hate in the community. Congratulations.
Freak it. 2 years ago. Yeah. 2 years ago. Damn.
That was on TV. So I was watching on TNT, they had the Star Wars marathon, and I was watching The Rise of Skywalker, and I guess my hate for that movie has kind of subsided, and I'm more indifferent than I was. There's still a lot that I don't like about it, a lot of fan service that I felt like just wasn't done right, but yeah, I did enjoy it.
Yeah, I will say yes. Rise of Skywalker was one of the that was the last one. I think they did it right. It's right when you're walking out of the theater, just because I think the fan service was just so overwhelming when at that movie that you were just like, it was so well done that you're just, from the crap we had to deal with in The middle movie,
Last Jedi.
Last Jedi, and then you have the Rise of Skywalker come out, and it was just perfect. You know, we were just on a high. It was the end of the Skywalker era, and you know, you just saw Leia pass. You saw that it just the emotion behind it was pretty crazy. You know, and Han Solo popping back up.
I'm in the minority who liked The Last Jedi.
I thought it was a fine movie.
Yeah, I don't get the extreme hate.
I don't know, because I don't know. We're going to rehash it, but I think they just screwed up on those movies because they didn't know what the hell they were doing. And I think it was a money grab by Disney or Lucasfilm or whatever. And they burned us. We got burned out. I think they tried doing the same thing they did with Marvel movies, where they released something every year, even though it was a different movie. But they should have, I don't know, maybe they should have done something more like that. And then it all ties into the Skywalker saga that comes out every 3 years, you know, because they had the Infinity War for Marvel, which was the big umbrella. And then you had all the spin-off movies that fed into that umbrella. But
my personal opinion is, after watching Rise of Skywalker this week, everything Lucasfilm today does outside of the Skywalker saga is good.
Okay.
So keep it up.
Yes.
I'm very excited about Andor. I'm very excited about Obi-Wan, Ahsoka, Book of Boba Fett. Just the Skywalker saga is George Lucas's thing. Let's keep it George Lucas's thing. Moving forward, let's.
How many days till Book of Boba Fett?
What, a week and a half?
10 days. Or a little over 10 days right now, because we're recording on the 18th.
Yeah, I'm probably going to start getting excited, because my excitement was directed towards Spider-Man, and now that that's kind of passed, it's all going to be geared towards Book of Boba. So I can't wait for Book of Boba.
Did you see Spider-Man?
Yes.
Were you happy with it?
Yes.
Okay. Everybody that I've seen that's seen it has been happy with it. So I think I need to rewatch, or I need to watch those two with that guy that plays Spider-Man. The three that,
Tom Holland.
I need to watch those two movies, and then I can go watch this one, because I want to know what's going on.
I think it's more important to, well, yeah, like if you haven't seen any of the Spider-Man movies, I would watch those first two. I think the one that came before it, Far From Home, is more important because it's a direct sequel to that.
Uh-huh.
The things that happen in Far From Home kind of lead into No Way Home.
Okay.
But who's good?
I thought you were going into that. But wham! And
no, I don't want to talk about it.
No, I got you.
But there's rumors this week that Harrison Ford has shot something for Star Wars.
Yes, I've heard that. I've seen that, and I'm curious what it is.
Me too. And I'm curious if it's true or not. Like, do you want that?
It depends on how it's done, dude. It really does.
If it's de-aged like Mark Hamill, where it seems like an AI robot, I'm not for it. I would prefer Alden for that.
Yes. I wonder if it was something for Book of Boba, maybe. I don't know. But yeah, I agree with you. If they're going to do that, because I'm a visual guy, and it just, that I kept watching when I first saw Mark Hamill on the Book of on Mandalorian. I kept going, that's not him. That's not him. It doesn't sound like him. It's not him. And then to find out it's him. And so it kind of ruined the first pass through. You're spinning it going, that's not Mark Hamill, versus taking the scene in and just enjoying it.
I think it makes more sense if he's in a Boba Fett show, whether it's season 1 or season 2.
Mm-hmm.
Or maybe that's the cliffhanger. They're just kind of faced off at each other and they lead into season 2 with that. But I think that makes more sense with what they have. Like, I don't think it makes sense for him to be in Andor.
Right.
Because at that time he's a smuggler. I don't think it makes sense for him to be an Obi-Wan because, again, he's a smuggler, although he was on Tatooine. You can have an indirect sequel but then that takes you out of Obi-Wan. Like, focus around Obi-Wan. Don't start throwing in A and B and C storylines. Well,
in the EU, there's actually some really good storylines where Han and Boba Fett team up. Because Boba Fett's a mercenary. He'll go whoever's paying him. He don't care.
He was a mercenary.
Was a bounty hunter, but...
And now he's a crime lord.
Yeah.
So he's got to do crime lord business.
Dude, I think the fans, if damn it, Han Solo popping up in Book of Boba Fett would be freaking amazeballs. But
We'll see.
I can't wait. And another thing about Book of Boba Fett, they're saying that everything we've seen is like half of the first episode.
Yeah.
We haven't seen anything out of like the first 15 minutes or first half of the first episode, because if they showed any more, it would give it away. It would give everything away.
That's awesome.
Yeah.
I thank them for thinking of us and not spoiling things like that.
Yeah.
Because there's a trailer for a movie called Dog with what's the dude from 21 Jump Street? I could see his face, and Magic Mike, which I've never seen, but
Come on, Magic Mike.
Yeah, what's his name? Anyways, he's
I know
G.I. Joe too.
Channing Tatum.
Channing Tatum. There's a movie trailer for this movie called Dog, and they showed you the entire movie in the trailer. Like, I don't feel like I need to see. They show character development. They show schemes that they do together. They kind of show how they connect the human and the dog. And I'm like, I don't need to see this movie. This is a horrible trailer.
Jesus, I hate when they do that.
Me too.
But yeah, it'll be fun. Are you gonna? No, you can't watch it. You're not gonna wake up first thing in the morning and watch it, are you?
Probably not, because I have to work that day. Dang it.
I know.
My job is to be on social media all day, so I have to do my best to avoid spoilers.
That sucks. I know. I normally will wake up and watch it. My wife will wake up a few minutes after me and it's like, "Why is the TV on?" And then she'll be like, "Oh, it's Star Wars Day."
What time do you wake up?
5.
So you wake up at 5 to watch it?
No, I wake up at 5 every day because I'll come down here and just hop on the computer for 45 minutes to an hour, just waste my time and drink a cup of coffee, and then I'll come out and start my day. But yeah,
I just don't know if I could do that, because then I'll have anxiety. Like, I should be getting ready. I should be doing this. I should be doing that. And then it's just like, why bother at that point?
Yeah, it depends on how long the episode is. I mean, because I know with like Book of Boba, but like Mandalorian, they were half an hour. So I was perfect. Everything was perfect. I was able to do everything. I was able to go in and watch it, and then at 45 minutes, because at 5:45 is my drop dead time, and I'll get ready for work. And if I'm 5 minutes late for work, I don't really care. They know what I'm doing.
Yeah.
They know it's Boba Fett Day.
Yeah. This is the way.
This is the way, baby. I can't wait. It's gonna be good. What day is the 20th? And it's a Wednesday.
It's a Wednesday morning.
So that means Hawkeye. You see, I really wish
Hawkeye's done this weekend.
Right. I really
Hawkeye's done this week, and then Boba starts the next week.
I really wish, like Hawkeye, people would treat Book of Boba Fett and Star Wars like they have the Marvel stuff. Maybe it's just because I'm not on any of the Marvel pages or anything, but that stuff doesn't get spoiled. Star Wars always gets spoiled, and I don't understand it.
Maybe the fandom is stronger with Star Wars.
The only thing I didn't like was I saw somebody had posted some art that was a spoiler from Hawkeye like the next day, but it wasn't a big spoiler, but the oh shit moment in Hawkeye was ruined.
And again, with Facebook, if you're into Star Wars, Facebook's going to show you Star Wars stuff more than Marvel stuff.
Right.
Because that's going to get a reaction from you.
But yeah, I really enjoyed Hawkeye. I think they did a really good job with it. And it always seems to end on a cliffhanger. The episode does. So yeah. It's awesome.
Yeah, it's solid. It's like a solid 5 episodes, and there's really very little fat on it, and they've kept it interesting. So I've really been into the Hawkeye show.
Right. And
which was filmed. Yeah, right there.
Dude, yeah. I keep looking for downtown Canton and I can't recognize it because I don't go to downtown Canton.
Yeah, I didn't recognize it either. And for the same reason. I just figured everything felt like New York. It didn't feel like small town Georgia. Right. And I'm wondering if the car chase in that second episode was filmed up there. But I don't know.
I don't know. I can't. They do a really good job of disguising. Oh, I'll have to. I don't know why I'm getting a phone call from a guy we're meeting tonight. But anyway,
You can't meet.
Well, I'll message him later. But anyway, sorry, I'm supposed to be meeting some people tonight. Our buddy Jerry, we're going to Ponce City Market, and he's gonna like tour us around and show us all the stuff that changed it. And one of the guys we're meeting just called me. But anyway, what we were talking about. Oh yes, sorry, freaking podcast stuff. Anyway, I can't record a podcast. Oh my god. But they always do a good job of disguising Atlanta as other cities. But if you know Atlanta, you can catch it, because there'll be like one building that's iconic to Atlanta, and they can't disguise what that building is. So you know where.
Yeah, I'm not that familiar with Atlanta, so it doesn't work with me like that. But for Stranger Things, like I've said, we've gone around and seen some of these places, so it sticks out like a sore thumb once you're there. But yeah, no Star Wars productions here. Although I did send you that image of my friend who did the Scorekeeper Bosk costume, is filming a sequel right now called No Disintegrations, and he was in his Kieti disguise, like that alien species. He made awesome. A Kieti Jedi costume for Celebration one year, and so he still has the molds, and he dressed up for the show. I guess there's a cantina scene, so that's filmed here in Atlanta.
Yeah, that looks good. It looks like they did a good job with all the scenes, and that was still, even for a fan movie, which you don't give a whole lot of not credit, but you're just like, it's a fan movie. I don't care, but
give it respect.
Give it the respect that it should. And that was incredible. That Scorekeeper was a great 15 minutes. I mean, it left you wanting more.
Yeah. That Scorekeeper was like a play off of Predator. So I'm like, what is the sequel, Predator 2? I'm too old for this. Donald Glover.
Donald Glover. Yeah, you know what's funny is he was like 45 when he shot Lethal Weapon.
Yeah.
So we're all too old for this stuff.
Well, I got 5 years then.
Yeah.
No, 3. I need to do math better.
Do better math. What yeah. So what do you want to talk about next? You want to go into the
Shadows
question? Huh? Our shadows?
Well, you got questions?
Well, no, it's not questions. It was just the one I posed from Tony.
What question?
About Disney and Star Wars. We might as well go for it. All right, let's
go for it. I don't remember what this is.
All right, so I was hanging out on a couple of weeks ago when we were doing the winter social, and we were all kind of hanging out here, and our buddy Tony Hammond questioned me. He looks at me and goes, "Do you think Star Wars would be as popular if Disney didn't buy it?"
No.
I don't either.
Because there was a spike in the value of vintage cardbacks and mocks when Disney bought Star Wars. And a lot of people were like, well, I want to go back to get my original Star Wars. And because of that purchase, there was a spike in the value of those cardbacks. And so I think because of that, it increased. Everyone went back and said, I want to love the Star Wars that I once knew and not the Star Wars that's coming. Whereas I don't think that would have happened without Disney buying Star Wars.
That makes sense. I have to agree because, yeah, it did kind of, because we were sort of in the same vein as like Star Trek, you know? I mean, I know there were Star Trek movies. No, you don't think so?
No.
I'm just using it as an example because it was in the background. You know, nobody cared about Star Wars at the time. The people who loved it cared about it, but the mainstream community didn't care about it. And then when Disney bought it, that's when everybody started paying attention.
Yeah. Yeah, because Disney controls the pop culture. I mean, they've got all these IPs that Marvel and Pixar and Disney princesses, and they kind of set the tone for pop culture. So it just made sense for them to buy Star Wars. It just, yeah, I don't know if there'd be as much conflict in the community as we have now because of Disney and what they're doing with the franchise.
Mm-hmm.
But I don't know if it would be as popular.
Right. I agree. I don't think it would be because, yeah, there again, it's freaking Disney. Everybody pays attention to what they do.
And The Mandalorian really would not have happened without Disney.
Nope.
Baby Grogu wouldn't have happened without Disney.
Yeah, we wouldn't have the content we have without Disney. There's no way. And then because I think with Disney and Disney Plus, they were like, we need content. We need to put this stuff out there, and we're getting Mandalorian, and we're getting, but they were like, let's bring Boba Fett back and let's really mess with these guys. And now Boba Fett is even bigger than he once was.
Yeah, he is. And that's saying a lot because he was pretty big to begin with.
Right.
He's a legend.
Now you can't walk into Walmart without seeing Boba Fett crap.
Or Grogu. I did see that plush Grogu with the Christmas sweater. That was kind of fun.
Did Narayan pick that up?
I don't know if he picked it up, but he did show it to us in our chat, and I did see it at Target, but I was so lightly packed. If I put anything in my bag, because I was in Jacksonville, if I put anything in there, I just wouldn't have been able to make it back home.
Gotcha.
But yeah, it was pretty cute.
So one of the girls that I work with was like, that damn Baby Yoda thing sure is ugly. My nieces and nephews, that's all they want for Christmas. And he's ugly.
Look at Yoda and then look at Grogu and tell me that he's ugly.
Right.
Because I'm wondering if people who don't know might think when they say Grogu, they might think Yoda.
Yeah.
I don't know, whatever.
It is what it is.
Oh, so I prepared an entire retrospect on Shadows of the Empire.
Let's go for it, man.
Do you want to go for it?
Yeah. Go ahead.
No, go ahead.
No, I've been thinking about it, and I did read the book because it had the green guy, Prince Exo or whatever.
Caesar.
It was him in there, and it was all about him. I don't necessarily remember, like the Luke storming around as a stormtrooper and stuff, or whatever that red person was, the red stormtrooper guy.
Yeah, it was an Imperial Guard.
I remember the movie. I vaguely remember it, and maybe with you listening to it or listening to you go over it, it'll probably jog my memory. But
let me go through it, and then you could just cut me off and inject with things.
All right,
intersect with your opinions. So the main characters of the Shadows of the Empire. Oh, let me step back. In May of 1996, Lucasfilm, with Bantam Spectra as a publisher, released Shadows of the Empire, which is a book written by Steve Perry. It's a story that takes place right between Empire Strikes Back and Return of the Jedi. It was a 340 page book, and it was a multimedia event. And the whole idea was, let's release a movie without the movie. So it's got everything that would be involved with the release of a movie without that property. But the idea was to tell one singular story across multiple mediums. So there was comic books, there was the main novel, there was video games, and everything kind of spun off of that book. But if you were involved with all pieces of content that came with this, you would see the full story. It was as early as 1994 that Lucasfilm Publishing met with Bantam to discuss the idea of the project. And in 1995, they brought in Steve Perry to write the story, and it was released a year later, which he cobbled together. He cobbled notes from their discussions about what this property could be. And then he wrote the book based on those discussions. It was meant to add some fuel to the Star Wars fire and prepare Star Wars for the special editions, because we were in the dark times and we were kind of emerging out of it. So they wanted to prepare the audience for the multimedia event that would be the special editions a couple of years later. And then the special editions obviously was followed by the prequels. So this was kind of the spark that ignited the fire that got us out of the dark times. Originally, the idea was to have a story between A New Hope and The Empire Strikes Back, but that eventually shifted because they felt that they could do more later on after Empire. The cover art of the novel had Luke Skywalker with his green lightsaber, dressed in black with a vest on, a vest we don't see in the movies. Vader and Shizor, I'll get to Shizor in a minute, kind of loomed over his shoulders. And front and center is the Emperor dominating them all. The backside had Leia, Boba Fett, and a swoop bike. And the art was done by the only Drew Struzan, who is a famous artist who did like the Back to the Future poster. He did some of the Star Wars. I think he did special edition. So the characters involved, the Shadows of the Empire introduced us to a couple new characters. One of them primarily is Prince Shizor, which you've already mentioned. He's a Falling. That's his species, Falling. He's a crime lord of the Black Sun, which is an organization kind of like Crimson Dawn or the Huts, or what's that other one? The Pikes.
Yes.
The Pike is another crime lord syndicate. And Prince Shizor wants to make Vader look bad and rise in the eyes of the Emperor and win favor, because if you're second in charge, you can kind of rule the galaxy as a crime lord. We also meet Dash Rendar, who is a smuggler, who's basically Han Solo. He's an avatar for Han Solo because Han Solo at this time is frozen in carbonite, and we don't see him. He's absent in this story. So what they did is they just basically cloned him. Not really, but he's a smuggler from Corellia. His ship kind of looks like Han Solo's ship. It's a Corellian freighter, but it's not though. But it does have the cockpit on the side, so there is some similarities in that. The book jacket described the book as, it's a time of crisis. Han Solo, frozen in carbonite, is being taken to the vile gangster Jabba the Hutt. As Princess Leia mounts a rescue mission and Darth Vader scours the galaxy for Luke Skywalker, another sinister figure emerges. Cunning and ruthless, leader of the powerful crime syndicate, he will pit himself against Vader for the favor of their mutual master, the dreaded Emperor. And for those who don't remember, the story starts with Leia, Chewie, and Lando hiring Dash Rendar to help them get Han Solo. There's a big race to try to intercept Boba Fett and get Han Solo to free him before he gets to Jabba the Hutt. We do see Luke Skywalker construct his new lightsaber, which is a deleted scene, but at the time that wasn't available anywhere. So we basically saw it here in the book. We're introduced to swoop bikes, which is basically a speeder bike, but it's kind of souped up. It's a little different. Prince Shizor wishes to capture and kill Luke Skywalker to gain the Emperor's favor. Shizor is weird. He's a male. He's got pheromones, and he tries to seduce Leia to bait Luke into coming to rescue her. However, Luke, Lando, and Dash are able to rescue her. This all leads to a battle above Coruscant where Vader kills Shizor. Dash is killed by debris. However, there is a PC version of the game where it's revealed that Dash lives. He kind of shoots away, but everyone just assumes that he's dead, apparently. But it is part of the thing because, like I was saying before, it was a comprehensive multimedia event and it's all told the same story. It was just in this one version, the PC game, it's revealed that while everyone else thinks Dash is dead, he is actually alive somewhere in the galaxy. Do you remember that?
The thing I remember most is Prince Shizor, whatever.
Shizor.
Shizor.
Right. Yeah.
He had like a robot that he had sex with.
I don't remember. I don't remember that.
Or it's like mentioned in like a very like little. It's like a robot he fights with or a bodyguard, and he battles with it or spars with it, and then it says something about him using it for his pleasure, and like, oh. But I remember the hormones.
You're reading It's a Pleasure a lot.
Yes, I am. But yeah, it was a good book. But I don't remember that much of it. I remember Shizor and the Black Sun and all that crime fighting stuff, all the crime syndicate underground stuff's always interesting to me because it's something we've never really explored in Star Wars.
Like I've said before, my only problem with the book is that it leveraged a lot that came before it to tell the story. So I don't have an example in front of me, but it's kind of like Luke was nervous, kind of like the time when he was on Yavin, right about to leave to go battle the Death Star. And it was just like, that's not necessary. Like your fan service there.
All right. I would agree with that.
Yeah, to tie in with the property, they had Hasbro action figures, Galoob Micro Machines, Applause released a series of statues. There's video games, comics, and strange enough, the book had its own soundtrack. The soundtrack was written by Joel McNeely, and it's weird to me to hear music that referenced old Star Wars music, but it has no place in the Star Wars universe. It's just weird to listen to it and then be like, what's happening, what's going on, and then all of a sudden you'll hear the Imperial March, and then that fades away to something else, and you're just like, I feel like I've missed something because this doesn't belong in my mind. You're just so used to, like, when I listen to Star Wars soundtracks, I can almost envision what's happening on screen.
Right.
It doesn't happen with the soundtrack.
Gotcha. Yeah, I remember there being a ton of merch for this. I mean, it's still around. You know, the Prince, they did a good job with him because he was everywhere,
Yeah.
and it built it into your head what he looked like.
Speaking of merch,
yes,
Power of the Force 2 released 5 carded figures. These were all in the purple laser card back.
Yeah.
There was the red one, then they what word am I looking for? They shifted to the green one, and then they shifted to a purple one for Power of the Force. These figures included Leia in the Bausch disguise, Dash Rendar with his giant puffy vest, Luke Skywalker in the Imperial Guard disguise. He was in the rescue mission to rescue Leia from Prince Shizor, and that's why he was in the disguise. And then Chewbacca is the bounty hunter, and then finally Prince Shizor.
We got to talk about that Chewbacca. Finish your thought.
Oh, let's talk about it.
That was so bad.
Yeah, so I have it here. He's got an axe and a gun. He's got a cape, kind of like Boba Fett hanging off the back.
You can't forget the crew cut.
Yeah, he's got a flat top on the top of his head. He's got an eye patch. They kind of dye some of his fur. I don't know if he's got fur or hair, but they dye it so he looks like a famous Wookiee bounty hunter that people know about. But he's got an axe, like I mentioned before, and the axe there's a hole in his back. He's got some armor, and you can put the axe on the back.
Oh, that's
so
kind
he's
of cool.
just kind of carrying it on the back. He's got a heavy blaster who's got dust. I missed some dust from when I was dusting the Winter Social. But yeah, I mean, it is a funky figure. It's just like, what did you do to our Chewbacca, our beloved Chewbacca? I guess Wookiee hair grows fast because, I mean, they kind of lead off. They leave the book right as they kind of go to Tatooine on the rendezvous point to meet up and rescue Han Solo. So I guess his hair grows back pretty fast.
It is pretty amazing when they do that kind of stuff in books, and then, oh yeah, crap, we've got a movie that shoots and that happens 5 minutes from now.
Yeah, and the Imperial Senate Guard disguise, and whatever it is for Luke Skywalker, looks nothing like we've seen before. I'm sure when you say Imperial disguise, people think of the red guards from Return of the Jedi, but this is more of a crimson color. Luke Skywalker has a weird, funky helmet. It doesn't look like a Boba Fett or a Mandalorian helmet. It doesn't look like an Imperial helmet. Actually, it looks like Kiss makeup now that I look at it. It's
You
like
wanted the best.
Star.
You got the best.
And so, yeah, I'm actually waiting for this costume to come into canon at some point, or Dash Rendar to make an appearance. We'll get to canon soon.
Yeah.
The Outrider was the first. Was a vehicle released with the toy line along with Slave One. The Outrider was the first toy that didn't use a vintage Kenner mold. So this was part of the new Hasbro, new Kenner, and they formed this vehicle all on their own. Everything else, the X-Wings, the Snowspeeder, the TIE Fighter, Slave One, the Millennium Falcon was all produced with the Power of the Force 2. Through the Power of the Force 2, they used vintage molds to make those. So it's just basically updating them, making new paint colors, things like that. So I don't know if I explained that right, but the Outrider was the first toy that they produced in the 90s when Star Wars came back. Shizor's ship was planned, but they never produced that. There was also two packs, Boba Fett versus IG-88, which came with a comic book, in addition to Prince Shizor versus Darth Vader, which really Darth Vader's going to choke him out.
Yeah,
that's no competition. They also had the swoop bikes. They were also released. It's like a red speeder bike, but with a thicker body, and it's just like a hot rod, like a chopper almost. Not the chopper, but a chopper.
chopper motorcycle thing. Yes.
Yeah. I'm not skipping Micro Machines. They released 3 packs of Micro Machines. There was set 1 with IG 2000, which is IG 88 ship. Guri Vader in his iconic pose. There's a very famous image of him kind of standing with his hands out, and the cape is kind of swooped out to his side, and the lightsaber kind of shot up across his chest. It's a very iconic image of Darth Vader. They turned it into a minifigure for Galoob Micro Machines. There's the ASP droid and a Stinger, which is which ship is the Stinger? I forget.
I don't know.
I don't remember. Set 2 had Shizor's ship, the Emperor, Prince Shizor himself, and a swoop bike. And then finally, set 3 had the Outrider, which is Dash Rendar's ship, Dash Luke, LEBO2D9, which is Lebo, which is Dash Rendar. I didn't get to that. Dash Rendar's droid, his number 2. Instead of having a Chewbacca, he's got this Lebo droid. And it also comes with Hound's Tooth, which is Bosk's ship. Topps made a set of 100 Shadows of the Empire cards. The set was painted by Greg and Tim Hildebrandt, which are very famous artists. There's the Hildebrandt poster, which is the first poster ever produced for Star Wars. It's very iconic. And there was also the Nintendo 64 game, which I played for weeks. I loved it. This was early in the days of 3D gaming. Everything was side-scrolling up until Nintendo 64 came along, and everything was polygons. So it was 3D based. The textures were not as good as they are today. If you play it today and you go back, you're like, ugh, doesn't look as good. But it was new at the time, and I loved it. The best part, they opened this game perfectly with snow speeders taking down AT-ATs. And you're flying the snow speeder. You're using your harpoons. You're hitting the legs of the Imperial AT-ATs, and you're swooping around them and taking them down. Once you complete the Battle of Hoth, you are Dash Rendar trying to escape from Hoth. You fly on swoop bikes to save Luke Skywalker. You battle IG-88 and Boba Fett. And the final part of the game is you take part in the space battle high above Coruscant, which is the end of the book too. I mean, this multimedia event pretty much means nothing nowadays. It's kind of like, meh, whatever, because we're so used to it. Everything was kind of wiped clean in 2014 when Lucasfilm just declared everything before The Force Awakens to be legends and non-canon. The book, like I've mentioned before, doesn't really hold up because it leans heavily on moments from the movies. Shizor's species did appear in the Clone Wars, making that species, the Faline species, canon. The Outrider appears in Star Wars Rebels, making that canon. It was also included in the special editions flying off from Tatooine. So I guess the Outrider was always canon because it was included. Rendar is mentioned in the book Tales from Vandor, a spinoff from Solo. I haven't read that yet, but he is part of canon. And then just recently, Prince Shizor was mentioned in the Kira comics. So Prince Shizor is back in canon, not in Legends. He's back in canon, so he's an official thing. Steve Perry did write a sequel in comic book form to Shadows of the Empire. I've never read it, but it follows Shizor's right-hand woman, Guri, trying to figure out what to do now that she doesn't have someone to report to. She apparently has some information that the bounty hunters and rebels are after. It's a 5-issue series, and it was called Shadows of the Empire Evolution.
Yes.
But that's all I have about Shadows of the Empire, which is a lot.
Yeah.
I remember it a lot. I mean, I was into Glue Micro Machines and Power of the Force. And
wait, you were in the Micro Machines?
Yeah, I was. And so when this whole thing came out, they were hitting all the things that I loved: the Power of the Force 2, the Micro Machines. I did get the soundtrack. I did get the book. And it was a good time. I never got the applause figures, but those are available for like 3 cents if you want them.
It's really sad, those applause figures. When you see the sculpts of them, they're amazing. They're great. Yeah. There's so much detail, and then it's lost in the figure.
There's just no playability to them. There's no articulation, right?
Right.
It's just a statue.
Correct.
So that might be the reason why people don't track those down.
But do you remember Suncoast video? Yeah. That's all they sold there was that crap.
The applause stuff. Whatever happened to applause?
I don't know. Maybe they lost all their money giving it to Lucasfilm.
Maybe. The world may never know.
Yeah. Did you I know we're not going to bitch about Hasbro anymore.
Uh-oh.
Did you get those shore troopers?
Yeah, I pre-ordered them. I was excited about that.
Well, the thing I didn't like about that whole situation is they made it up to be like this great thing that they were going to release. Like, wait, at 4:00 on Friday, they emailed, sent my media blast out that they were going to release this great thing on Friday at 4:00 for pre-order. And as awesome as it is, it was yay. Or is it like, are you guys listening to us? And this is what, hey, we're listening to you guys and you guys want this crap, so we're going to release it. Or, what was the, or it's just something cool that we know, we had in the works for months and just now releasing it because the
I think any changes that they make we'll see in about a year. If they make any changes. Reading that vintage collection book, I mean, the reason why the vintage collection kind of went away was due to the cooling of collector fan base, and that was before Lucasfilm bought Star Wars.
Okay.
Or Disney bought Star Wars. But then also rising costs. And that was prohibiting them from making the things that they wanted to make. So they kind of cooled it off and they kind of put it to sleep for a little bit. So I would imagine prices have not gone down.
Mm-hmm.
So they've got a series of challenges. And I like the Shore Trooper, obviously.
Yeah.
And so I was happy with that pack.
Yeah, he's a badass figure, dude.
Yeah, I felt like the Shore Trooper looked a lot like the Scout Trooper from Return of the Jedi. And it was a easy jump for me to say, oh yeah, the Emperor had that the entire time.
Right.
The Empire had that Shore Trooper. Of course they did. It just fit right in my opinion.
Right. No, I mean, I think they did. And then they wrapped it perfectly up with Rogue One, everybody dying. So now you know why we don't see Shore Troopers anymore. But then they brought them back in Mandalorian.
Yeah. We just never saw them on a shore anywhere. So
because we were never in yeah, you're right. We were either in desert or snow
or forest.
Or forest.
Which is part of the reason why I liked Rogue One so much, is that they took us to mountains.
Mm-hmm.
They took us to beaches, and it kind of just fits into the original trilogy like that. Because the original trilogy had a lot of iconic settings. I don't know, like generic settings, like clouds. Okay, right. There's a city in clouds. Sand, there's a sand planet. Forest, there's a forest planet. Snow, there's a snow planet. So in beaches, there's a beach planet. Mountains, there's a mountain planet. I mean, it fits in so well. They did it really.
Yeah.
Good job, Lucasfilm.
You got something right.
Congratulations on Rogue One.
Yes.
And the 5-year anniversary, that is.
Rogue One. We need to, have we done episode on Rogue One?
No, we haven't.
we had all these great plans that we were going to go back and redo all these.
Well, we don't need to. We don't need to. We haven't yet. Yeah. So in a couple of weeks, I mean, we'll be doing reviews on Boba Fett like we did with The Mandalorian. We'll do a breakdown. The only really, we did that. We didn't really do it with the Bad Batch. We kind of skipped over it.
I wasn't excited with the Bad Batch. So I don't think we really needed to. But
the only one that we've really done it to is the Ewok movie.
Right.
Caravan of Courage. So we need to finish that and do Battle for Endor.
Right. So next week's going to be kind of interesting because we got Book of Boba. Will we have Book of Boba? No, we won't have
2 weeks. Next week is our wrap up. So
yeah,
I guess let's just wrap up the show.
Yeah, let's wrap it up.
We're looking for sound clips from people letting us know. We've received a couple already, so thank you for sending those in. But we're looking to see. I'm getting excited. I gotta slow down. Open up the voice memo app on your phone and record a quick voice memo for us, anywhere between 2 to 4 minutes. Let us know how 2021 went for you in collecting. What were your goals? Did you meet those goals? And what are your 2022 collecting goals, if you have any? What are you going to focus on in 2022? Record a quick voice memo, send it our way, and we will use it on the next episode of the Smugglers Galaxy podcast.
Yes.
We're going to talk about the same thing for ourselves.
Right. So smugglersgalaxy@gmail.com, or you can PM either one of us, either through the Facebook page or through our personal Facebook page.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's awesome. So Yeah.
Yeah,
What
we
else?
wish you a Merry Christmas, Happy Kwanzaa, and a Happy Holiday if you don't celebrate either one of those with you and your family. If you could, please leave a like and review of the show anywhere you listen to the podcast, if that's allowed. I know on Spotify, unfortunately, it doesn't let you review podcasts, which sucks because it doesn't help us out, but it really does help us out when you do that. We appreciate you listening to us. Follow us on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter, and YouTube, where you can see our purty faces. Thank you, Alfonso Riviera, for the Smugglers Galaxy logo.
Yes.
Levi Waterhouse for the music. Be a father. I was on a roll.
You were doing great. Come on, Jason.
Be a positive force in the Clifton community.
Yes.
This is the way.
This is the way. I want to say happy birthday, Riley. He's 6 years old today. That's happy birthday, buddy.
Happy
I love
birthday,
you.
buddy.
This is the way.